Where's chapstick? Hello, my friends, hello. It's time to let you know it's Wednesday morning and noon for some. It's been a while. Hello, my friends, hello. Hey, 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 you back. I'm here running. And I had 2 handfuls of hot tamales this morning. That's how my hump day's going. I had my egg sandwich and I said, hot tamales sound good. So I had 2 handfuls. That's right, 2. And then I lost the nail. I don't know where it went while I was vacuuming. It's funny, it's just in this finger. Anywho, hot tamales. Is that a problem? I don't know. Y'all, I'm having problems. I've already glued 3 fingernails back on. I'm going today to get them done a week early because my shit keeps falling off. No Mando. I haven't. Andrew went and got a new pair of boots yesterday because his were so worn out, and his boss was like, yeah, it's time. So, anywho, I've got problems. No, I've had this nail tech for 15 years. I went through this in my early 30s when I was having a hormone change. No, she's literally been my nail tech forever, but I think it's hormone changes for me. Yeah, this is, you know how long it's been since this has done this? So, I don't know. Anyway, hot tamales. What's wrong with hot tamales in the morning? Are you saying it's not healthy? I had an egg sandwich first, for fuck's sake. Anyway, it's Monday. Monday. No, it's not. It's Wednesday. What day is it? Who am I? Where am I currently? So Mando. No Mando. I will still look into it. So he got new boots. His boots are really bad. And he's on it is Humdaker. He went to, hi Tina. He went to work yesterday. He's on a work trip with his best bud, who is the son of the boss, right? Apparently his boss is like, bruh, you need to go get yourself some new boots. Those are horrible. And it wasn't the smell. It's because they were really worn out. So his boss is like, I'll pay for your boots. Go get them done. And maybe it's because he's his son's best friend, and he loves him. I don't know. But anywho, he went and then, you know, yeah, it can be hormones, right, Shirley? So I don't know. Since you were a nail tech, what would you suggest? Just keep doing it? Or just maybe, I love my nails though. So I don't know. Anywho, so he's on a trip for a couple days. No, I didn't have breakfast. I had hot tamales, you know, candy. These are dip, and then I put tips on them, hoping that it would, I don't know. I never worn, no tips. Well, my nails are nubs. So I don't know, maybe I'll just go back to no length right now. And then, you know, press on. What the fuck? Good morning, Pat. His jogger's on backwards. Oh my God, Tina, that was so last week ago. Is she prepping? Yeah. She's sanding, prepping, sanding, and prepping some more. Yeah, I mean, I've had this woman for 15 years. And I had one other time with this, which was another hormonal shift. So, it's blasphemy, right? I can't live without my nails. But then I'm thinking maybe, I don't know. Oh, Dr. V wasn't that cute. What? Oh, he's not talking to me. Yeah, they're always under the lights. Always under the lights. Good morning, Nona. So what is happening this Wednesday? I'm trying to save my nails and I lost one while vacuuming. I tried to look for it so I could glue it back on until my appointment, but I couldn't find it. Maybe I vacuumed it up. How does that happen? Shit. Not much going on today other than nails. So yeah, I can't do gel. I do not do gel because they peel. My hands are always, I can't live without my nails, so I'm in trouble. I just have to go now every 2 weeks to get them done. The rest is trimming, yes. My run is the most important part of the day. Actually, hold on. Waking up is the most important part of the day. I woke up early because Andrew had left last night to go. He went to one Boot Barn location. They didn't have the shoes that he wanted. So he waited for his friend. His friend picked him up and they went to another location and they had his boots. So I was worried, hi IVD, that because I was like, he can't wear those boots this week, being gone, and potential of like, he has holes in the bottom of his boots. I was like, you have 3 other pairs. Why do you wear the same ones with the holes? So I woke up this morning at 5:30 when he left just to make sure that his boots and stuff. Yeah, I do too. Like, I'm so hard on my hands, but like I said, normally I don't have a problem, but apparently this last month I have. So yeah, so he's on a trip. He knows nothing. This is my son, right? 19. All right, son, I'll be gone for 2 to 3 days. All right. Where are you going? I don't know. Well, where? Yeah, I mean, if you're spending the night, right? Oh, well, we're somewhere south, so you don't know the location. No. So how long are you going to be gone? 1 to 3 days. Well, how do you find out? Well, I'm waiting for Scotty to call me back. All right. Are you getting paid overtime? I don't think I'm getting paid. Son, it's a work trip. You get paid. It's against the law for them to send you on a trip and not pay you. Oh, I said, and you should typically have like a stipend to eat as well. Oh, really? Yes, son. Yes. Oh, I didn't know. Okay. Chris, je ne sais pas. I'll ask Leslie if she sent it or not to Dan. So anyway, that's my son. It's my son. What do you do with that? I most of the time want to hit him over the head. Like, would you go away for a work, first of all, 3-day work trip and not think you're getting paid? And if you would do that, then, everybody on this planet would hire you. Like, think about it, son. I just looked at him. Okay, Chris, no, I get it. You have to make sure that, I'll have to ask Leslie. Linda, I feel great because I had 2 handfuls of hot tamales while I was vacuuming and losing my fingernails. So I need to type in from the VA. Melinda, I'm in Norman. Who's Melinda? Oh, somebody else. Because I'm not Melinda, right, Mandel? I think you know. So that's my son. Anybody else's 19-year-old is his frontal lobe not fused together like our son who's 22. Is that what it is? Because sometimes I look at him and I think, how are you walking around on this planet? How are you, do you know who you are? Let's start with that. You're Andrew Salinger, right? Andrew Joseph. After Joe Montana, you knew that little bit, right? Bruh. When do the frontal lobes fuse? Dan's almost 56 and I'm still waiting. Yes, how are you existing? First of all, again, you don't know where you're going. How many days you're going, fine, I get that. Like, we don't know yet until the job's finished. So if they finish on Friday, they'll be home Friday night. If they don't, they're finishing up Saturday morning. Fine, that's overtime, right? So you end your week, you get overtime anytime after 8 hours. And why you would just want to go down to a 3-day, because he's thinking it's a breath trip, right? Yeah. Is that he trusts. He said he would buy me new boots. So that's what you do, is you work for 3 days with no pay for new boots. Yeah, they did travel together. Oh, good, Vandal. I was confused for a minute. I was just saying, hi, my name is Danielle, not Melinda, Martha, or Bertha. Well, so the 35. I know. I'm still waiting for Dan's brain to mature. So, typically, the brain matures by 26. Most 26. Again, my husband is 57, and I'm still waiting for the fusion to come together. So maybe some men just don't ever fuse, and they walk around like special people, not knowing which way's up and which way's down. Ping off, yeah, ping. 85, shit. I won't be alive to see it though. I know, that was funny, huh, Tina? Willie B says, shoot, I'm 23 years overdue. That's what, never mind. No, so Andrew's best friend, the son, he wanted to butter his own bread. Hold on, I gotta read this one. 15 years, he loves when I butter his bread. Shit, right? So, speaking of buttering the bread, and then I'll get back, they're traveling together. Scotty has a company car. So yeah, they take that. So we don't have to pay for gas. The company will. So Robin, speaking of buttering the bread, my son has yet to leave the house because his bread is butter front and back. And then last night he comes downstairs, right? He's like, I'm going shopping. I need a couple more pairs of jeans. Mind you, I just spent over $100 on 2 pairs of jeans for him, but he wants some more. Thanks, Ames. And he says, he puts his hand around my shoulders, and I said, well, you better get to packing, right? You better get to packing before you go. He put his hand around my shoulder and he said, well, you got that, right, Mom? Bruh. I love you, Mom, and walked out the door. Yep. That's the bread being buttered. And guess who packed for him? You're right, not Andrew, me. Bruh. This guy, did you not hear? Right, Nancy. Why would they ever leave? Because really the only way they can leave is if they find a mother like us. A wife. Did I say mother? Wife, mother. Hey, he did. He always does that. Well, Ma, you got that, right? Love you. Kiss on the cheek and love. Bread, butter, front and back and every which way. And I went to the store yesterday. This is how horrible I am as a mom. I am world's class #1 enabler. He texts me at 7:30 and he says, Mom, I feel like steak for dinner. I do it for Dan too, not as much. He better love me forever. He said, I feel like steak for dinner. So the video I posted today, the long one, not the short, I was going to the store to get steak. You named it. You called it. Because I was like, that doesn't sound so bad. So I got a good old tri-tip, grilled it up, made real mashed potatoes. By the way, I make a mean mashed potato. And yeah, so, and packed for him. and how to get his pills together, had his deodorant, his baby wipes. Just kidding. But yeah, I mean, the guy doesn't even know if he's getting paid on this trip, right? How can I expect him to pack and make sure he has everything? And I know what some of you are gonna say. You're gonna say, well, I guess he'll learn his lesson. But enabler. Oh, hi MC. I'm sorry about your mom. Oh. Yeah. Or forget his, no, he probably does need baby powder. God knows what else he needs. Yes. So, it's funny because I know, my name is Danielle and I am an enabler. I probably take the cake for most, but yes, my son, I went to the store for steak for my son and yeah, anyway, whatever. I know it, right? The first step admitting you have a problem is stating it. Enabler right here. Some of you, I put underwear. I made sure he had the right underwear so it doesn't chap, right? Because he gets chapped in between his thunder thighs. So I made sure he had the long underwear. His socks, and he's got new boots, so maybe he won't sink so bad. I don't know. Made sure, I got him a pair of sleep shorts. He's like, Ma, I don't need sleep shorts. I'll sleep in my boxers. I said, you guys just sleep in boxers? And he said, yeah, it's Scotty. I said, well, what does Scotty dress in? Boxers, Mom. We've known each other forever. It's not weird. All right, well, I'll put these sleep shorts in there just in case. Yeah, Wanda, because you have an only child, that's why. My girls, I did not pack snacks, but I did pack his lunch for today. He said, Mom, you don't really have to pack me a lunch because we're gonna be on the road. And I said, well, I'm not gonna pack you a lunch for 3 days, so let me just make one more healthy lunch before you eat like shit. So, that's me. This cold-hearted bitch does that. Can you believe it? Somebody said I was cold as ice today. I'm so cold. Brr. Hello, Jerry. Welcome to the preachings of the Godmother. You have 3 boys. Yeah, he's the worst one. I think I coddle because my girls, there's something about girls. Unless you have an only girl, then I think they're different. Like one child, it happens to be a girl. I typically think they're more needy. Kelly, sure, come on over. Do you clean good? Can you do wash? Can you fold? How about yard work? They're future wives. And that's who I think I'm really going to make it hard for, right? Is the future wives. Because Andrew is going to need somebody to coddle him, his disease, right? And make sure he stays healthy. Yeah. And let me tell you, if I don't like this bitch, well, it ain't happening. So I almost need to do you all see the Kardashians last week when they did a panel to look for Scott, a girlfriend? They don't know what frigid is, right? His wife has, but hey, Debbie, that's not fair because if I like her, I think she's fine. We'll get along just fine. But if I don't think she's taking care of my kid, I think I'm gonna be that mom. Am I gonna be that mom? Ugh, I can't even stand myself right now. I am so disgusted with the things that I'm saying, but I mean, it's just the way I feel. Remember, my feelings are valid. Shit, y'all, I'm gonna be that. I really think I am. I'm gonna be over there. Well, Rebecca, did you make sure I'll call her up, or maybe even go over there. Depends how close they are. Hi, Rebecca. Mom's here. How's my son today? Did he get up well? Is he taking his medicine on time? How about his feet? Are they still stinking? I brought some things over for you because I just don't think you're doing a good job. You know, we had it all handled when he was home. Can I have his latest test results, please? I need to dissect them. Why is this protein up in his urine? Rebecca, what aren't you doing? Do you want him to have a kidney transplant early in life? Or do you want him to be long liver for your kids and for you? Okay, honey. Okay, sweet pea, I'll see you later. Well, I'm gonna tell the future wife. She better have Mando for the feet. Fuck, I'm gonna be that woman. Hi, Rebecca. It's Mama. How's my son doing? Did you forward me those test results? Thanks, sugar. All right. How my grandbaby's doing? I'll be over there in 15 minutes. Love you, bye. She's gonna be like, she's gonna be a fortress around the house, I think. And here's the thing. Hi, Ronald. Hola. ¿Cómo estás? Is my son, I saw that question. Who said that? All these expectations, is my son that great? Well, yes, he fucking is. Have you never met my son? What kind of question is that? You obviously are jealous of the beauty that I have birthed out of this wonderful body. Lots of expectations I have for the people who marry into me. Yes, me. Roman, I knew. Andrew, don't you and Rebecca just want to move in with Mama and Daddy? Andrew would totally do. I don't think Andrew would be cool with it. Andrew would be cool with it. Andrew would be like, yeah, honey, we gotta move in with my mama. She does everything. She'll cook, she'll clean, she'll do, oh shit. Shut the door, Ed. Shut the door. Shit. Abort.
Danielle, do you know where my wallet is?
No, you have to wait for Dan.
What?
You have to wait for Dan. Go sit down.
I'm looking for my wallet.
It's
No, I don't have it on me.
in your room. That's a first. Ed normally doesn't get up. Looking for his wallet, sorry. Had to go sit him down. Anywho, Eduardo was in the house. Eduardo was looking for the wallet, so, and his car, just FYI. If anybody has seen his car, please let me know where the exact location is, and we'll go get it for him. So he did bring a girl home once. He had his first love, what he thought, his first everything. And we didn't like her. I didn't like her. And she knew I didn't like her. But she wasn't really good for my son. So, sorry. Yeah, and I do feel bad for all the women who come into his life. Because I told Andrew, and we had a long talk about this, after his first love. Well, yeah, she just, at the time of his disease, she wasn't very smart. At a time when we didn't know what was going on. At a time we needed her to be extra cautious. and she just didn't get it. So I knew it. She wasn't good, and he ended up not liking her. I wasn't me that pushed her away. It was his friends. And then he finally came to his senses. He was no longer pussy whipped, and realized that he can get a vagina anywhere. And so anywho, no, I didn't like her. And I told Andrew, I said, son, this is at the time that, he was blinded by the pee. And he goes, well, she knows you don't like her. I said, well, I don't. He said, well, can you at least try? I said, no. Mom, I said, son, this is one thing. He is better now. I said, there's one thing you better understand about me and you. When I smell a rat or a skunk or somebody ugly, Mama's gonna stand up for you, and I'm not gonna like her. Sorry, it's just me. I'm not gonna like her. There's reasons why. I'm always side-eyeing, there's a reason. And I think it'll be in your best interest to find somebody that I like. Yeah, a dime. More than a dime. Honey, and do not pay for sex. You can get that shit for free. Yeah, sometimes you can. I was like, a dime? Shit. People walking away with a couple $100 and still get a disease. Yes. Yeah, but I'm not going to enjoy Miss Wrong, right? I'm not gonna enjoy Miss Wrong. I'm not gonna invest my niceties on somebody I know I'm not gonna like, right? I know within the first meeting, I'm sorry, I'm not bitch. Lizzo said it best. Mom, did she like the girl? And that's the thing, like, first impressions of a girl, you don't want to see some girl sneaking out of your house and you've never met her, right? If you bring a girl to my house and boink her under my roof and I've never said hello, done deal. You're already, sorry, don't like you. That's okay, Ames. Same with Andrew. Nope, not Andrew. Same with Hannah. Hannah's still with her boyfriend from high school. And I like him. I've always liked Justin. You're welcome, Justin, if you're watching. I love his family, right? Hi, Claire. I like his family. Justin's, I know, raised well. And he's never been disrespectful. He was not overly like, hi, Danielle, I'm here. A lot of times he'd walk in, but he was embarrassed, and go straight up the stairs to Hannah, but I liked him, so it was okay. I hated her only because my son had just been diagnosed with God knows what, right? At the time, we didn't know. And we didn't know what was gonna happen to him. Oh, good, top dollar. I've been waiting for you. Yeah, exactly. She needs to show class. And you know what? To me, I'm gonna say it. Happy wiener, Shane. Hope your wiener's doing fine today. Did you do any of those things I suggested for you with the old ball and chain? If you did, and it was successful, I knew your wiener's happy. So, and that's the thing. Hi, Alex. With her, I felt like, the daughter, the girlfriend should always go above and beyond, right? She should know what she's getting into. Only son, mama's boy, you better show me that you are willing to walk to the ends of the earth for my son. If I don't see it, I already formed my judgments. I already formed them. They're already gone. And she never made the initiative. And that's what I was telling Andrew. Is that, you know what? If she stopped whining, unsuccessful, damn it. We'll have to practice those moves one-on-one, Shane. I mean, not over Zoom. I don't think you saw what I was actually doing. So I'll give you a little bit more. I'll give you a little bit more. I'll show you a little bit more moves. Not one-on-one. God, that sounds so bad. Shane, you and me, one-on-one. Come on over. Just kidding. Anywho, nothing. I was trying to get Shane laid last night, and so with his wife, not me, but it just came out wrong. But I was showing him things to do, you know, like walking up to his wife with his hands on his hips and do a little shake, you know, down below and say, hey baby, how about you come take a ride on Mr. Shane? Didn't work, I guess. So we tried a couple of those things. I taught him, you know, the hula hoop grind, the side to side, the slap it. It didn't work. But I don't think he got the movements down, because when we were on Zoom and I was showing him what to do, it was only from the waist up. So I think that's why he died, crashed and burned, because I think if he had those moves down, he would have been irresistible. And I said just to throw some tidy whities on for full effect, or naked. Anywho, I think everybody who walks into my house as a boyfriend or a girlfriend needs to kiss my ass. Just to sum it up, kiss my ass. Let me bend over. How do my kids feel about me talking about the private lives? What am I sharing that's so private? What am I sharing, just Jane, that's so private about my kids? Out of curiosity, let me know. I'm talking about me, right? I'm talking about me and how I feel. I'm not talking about my kids' private lives. I talk about my private life and my emotions and my feelings. You don't like it? Just Jane, you can buy my news. Anyhow, no, he is the one and only manscaper. The one and only manscaper was Shane. He technically that's the ironic thing, is a year ago, we were goofing around. Oh Lord, the things I'm saying. Shane, I apologize. In a group, still not good. On Zoom, laughing, joking with a group of people. Is that better? Shit. And we would do these ads, and Shane was the #1 manscaper. And 4.0, you know, trim the hedges, men. You must look great in order to get lucky. And the ironic thing is, well, I know if his wife was watching, she would probably be like, Shane, is there something you need to tell me? No, honey, why? Well, I was watching Danielle, you know. Yeah, I know. And what was she? Honey, there was no one-on-ones. I promise you. It was on Zoom. Together. Wrong thing, Shane. Don't say that. Just abort and deny. Abort and deny everything we talk about. I mean, he is hot, Shane. He's a good-looking guy. He's a cycler. He's fit. But no, it's fine. We're friends. That's it. Y'all, stop. You think I got time for anybody else? So anyhow, you should have started. I know. And so it's funny because Shane took a little break from me, and I just keep digging. A little break from the group, and he came back and he said, I find it kind of ironic that I was the one that introduced you into the manscaping world, but yet you got the commercial. I know, Shane, it's one of the weird things. Asking how your children feel was a genuine question, not an insult. I know, but just Jane, what you said and how you said it was ugly. Because I'm not sharing anything about my kids' private lives, right? I said Andrew was pussy whipped. It wasn't an accurate description of what they were doing with, you know, like I wasn't watching or anything. I'm speaking in generalities. I'm speaking how I felt. Not him, not anybody else, but me. And how I look into the partner's of my own children. What you mean is, do they get offended that I talk and use their names on camera? Probably not, because they know this is my job. This is what I do. This is how, when they ask for money, this is what it comes from. This hard work that I do. So no, if I was sharing tidbits of information and Hannah and her boyfriend that have been together for 7 years, would she be embarrassed that I'm saying that? No. Would she be embarrassed that I said I like him? No. Would she be embarrassed that I said I love his family? No. Would she be embarrassed that I said they're probably gonna get married? No. Would Andrew be embarrassed that I said he was pussy whipped? No. Those are facts. And most of it is it's my journey. I speak about my journey with my kids and their futures. It's not sharing, it's not too intrusive. Now, if I went into the problems Hannah's having, the problems Jennifer's suffering with, and Andrew's other things other than his disease, might be a bit intrusive if I don't have their permission. But speaking about the disease my son has, which other people have, by the way, I don't think is intrusive. You know why? Because I deal with it. I make his pills every day. I make sure he gets scheduled appointments. I make sure he's up with his nephrologist. I make sure he's still peeing in a cup every couple weeks. And when his protein's higher, I'm the one who's communicating with his doctor. I don't think that's anything to be private about. Those are the fucking facts of life. But if you'd like to know anything intrusive, I'm sure I can find a way to tell you, because you know I love full disclosure for the most part. So no, you guys, I'm dealing with a lot of that lately. I'm gonna tell you what I'm dealing with, but first I have to pee. It's going to border on the line of ownership, and people, like, literally, we're gonna talk about this. I need a vacation. Mimi, girl, how do you know what I need? I don't think you know me. I don't think you're part of my repertoire of friends and in my communications. How do you know what I need? I hate when people tell me what I need. I'll be right back. Y'all get her. Inform her. Maybe she's the one who needs a vacation. Mimi. Man, this guy. He is up. He is everywhere today. He's not, normally this is the time of life where the time of the day is, fuck, I'm glad I went in there. He just is not settling down today. He's up, looking around. He's coming and talking to me while I was peeing. Yeah, they are. I don't know why. Why would they be active on my channel? I just showed the cutest video of Ed lighting up when he saw me, and people are still attacking me. It's crazy. Like, for what reason? Anywho, so people. I want to get back to this because I've been surrounded by, in the last couple weeks, just people who are just, they don't reflect on themselves. They don't reflect, they just deflect, and they make such a big deal out of things and try to prove a point of what they're not doing wrong, right? Oh, she got told, good. I hate when people tell me that. Well, you need a vacation. I do? Do you know what a vacation would do to me? It would stress me out even more. Fuck, I don't need a vacation. I just need people to just shut the fuck up. That's a vacation. Anyway, people have a hard time, when sometimes, a normal person might be defensive, right? When somebody says, look, you're doing X, Y, and Z. Immediately, most people will say, they'll say, what are you talking about? I didn't do it. Just don't. Just listen to what the person has to say. And say, I respect what you're saying. Give me some time to think about it, right? Give me some time to think about it. Kimber, I love it. Instead of reacting and be defensive. Because you look like an ass. Because when you get confronted and you get told the things you are doing wrong and why, and why people don't want you around, you make a habit to go from person to person and plead your case. Y'all, don't work hard to do anything. If somebody confronts you with something, think and reflect and think, what could I be doing wrong? Why could people be treating me this way? Why are people treating me this way? Instead of saying, nope, it's everybody else, I don't understand. There's a lot of people that are like that, even the trolls, like that Just Jane. I didn't mean anything wrong by it. I just asked you a question. No, instead of being defensive, you should say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it to come across that way. Because when you come back defensive, it shows me that you are, for truth, trying to be ugly. Right? It just is. It's the facts. I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know why you reacted that way. Well, you did. Because I read it. That's how I felt when I read it. And that was my response. Y'all, when somebody confronts you, I hope this does not trigger me. Girl, Veronica, what is your point? Okay, here's another, here it is. Here's another thing. Veronica says, girl, you're in the most public and discriminatory background. Fact. You're going to pop a gut if you keep reactive. Negative, Veronica. I hope this does not trigger you. Anybody want to tell Veronica? Christine, I don't give a shit, right? When somebody responds the way they did, this is my platform. Here's the thing. Don't defend somebody you don't know what their actions are, right? Christine's telling me not to be offended, though. Danielle, was someone saying maybe you need a vacation because it came from a positive place, like saying you need a break? You got a hard job. I do have a hard job. That is a fact. But when people say the things they do, you can't assume that they're saying it in a positive way. Because of the way that they write it, shows me they're either ignorant and don't know how to not be offensive, or they're doing it to be aggressive. Yes, thank you, Alex. The comments, the way they're written, is a trigger. So whether or not you say don't be triggered by it, that immediately is going to trigger me, because it comes from a place of disrespect for my feelings. Disrespectful to my feelings. Thank you, Alex. And you do. Most people assume it's from a good place. Now, she could have been meaning that, right? From a good place. But the way she wrote it, she needs a lesson on not being so bitter and aggressive. And I could totally tell the difference typically. Yes, saying triggered is totally attacking. Veronica was totally attacking in that. Another point of what I was just saying. When you are writing, it is harder to get your point across. So there is, it is sometimes hard to always see what is behind the written word. But I can tell you that typically I'm a good reader with the way things are written. And if she meant harm, you know, she did it because she hasn't said anything else. If she didn't mean harm, most people would come back and say, oh no, I didn't mean it that way, I love you, right? But she didn't say anything. So that tells me, because of the way I was communicating at that time, I can typically read a troll because I was being my normal expressive self and somebody comes on and says, she needs a vacation. I mean, come on. It all has to do with respect. People who truly care for you, find you funny and like to be around you, would not do things to trigger you. People who are just assholes and really don't have their mind made up or really can't see what they do wrong because they don't own themselves and their reactions and their feelings, say, well, I didn't say anything wrong. I hope what I said didn't bother you. No, passive aggressive. Passive aggressive, and you meant to be an ass. Veronica had a little bit of an ass in there in her statement. It is what it is. No, and I appreciate that, Jane. But a lot of times I don't feel that I'm doing anything wrong when I talk about my kids. So I get a little bit sensitive when people kind of come at me about, my kids, because I'm like, what are you trying to say? You know, there's nothing that I say about my kids that I feel is, too much. That's why I hate that. So there's certain things I'm going to be more passionate about. Yeah, so, but what I'm saying is that realize how you write, right? Realize how you say it. Sometimes I write something and I hit send and I'm like, ooh, God, that can really come off kind of aggressive or just not 100% good, right? So then I might go back on and say, okay, just in case this is not how I meant it. Because I can see that we're human. Writing sometimes is very difficult. And I can forgive, but I'm also aware that, sometimes the things that I say through written word can seem aggressive or just downright assholey. But a lot of people don't give a rat's ass. And then they start attacking you based on how you respond. Because I didn't mean anything by it. No, but you should really think about it before you write it, because most everybody is going to see that question and be, ooh, that was kind of ugly. Especially when my kids are involved. And I'm sure, Jane, you would probably feel the same way if you are, in the presence on platforms and somebody brings up your kids. It is very, 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 I'm already, my hunches are up. The Nash store, I know, I love that store. And I've never even been in it. Yeah, well, and that's the thing, Claire, is a lot of people don't know, right? And if you struggle with, and so here's the thing too. People who are attacked a lot, right, respond quickly, right? The Nash store in Nashville. All my Nash hats came from there. My friend who's there right now visiting, she just said, yeah, you can get stuff online, Candace. That's how I've gotten all my Nash stuff. But it's true. Like, Jane, too, another thing, just to use you an example again, although you honestly didn't mean anything bad by it, a lot of people do. So when people, especially because I'm on this platform, so a lot of people who say things like that typically are looking to get a reaction. And because I see my kids, I'm immediately going to respond to that because those are my babies, you know? But you guys need to be sensitive. If you don't mean it in a bad way, really read before you send it because you may not realize how it's coming off. And all apologies if I took it too offensively, but you also have to be aware that I get a shit ton of negative clapbacks all the time. So I'm always assuming, for the most part, if I feel attacked, I'm gonna assume it's attack. Danny, do you know what narcissists are? Do you know who narcissist is? Hi, Enza. Yeah, and you know, that's the thing, is that I'm not here really, people to make friends, right? I'm just here trying to show the ups and downs of caregiving, living with Dan, and everything in between. Oh, they gave you a warning? No, it doesn't make it right. And so, you know, I'm the biggest proponent for other people. I don't even really care about myself. But when you come after my kids, I don't like it. And it's not okay. So there was a guy the other night on the live. It was Gavin, but I didn't put two and two together. I know that Andrew's friend Joseph always comes on and will say quirky things. But Gavin, were you guys, any of you guys on when they're like, is Andrew special? I was like, this motherfucker, right? He almost had me. No, and it wasn't a lesson, Jane. It happened at the time of me talking about people, right? Aren't self-aware of their actions. And I, just like with everybody else, I try to make a lesson out of it, especially just with life in general. And the things that I've been dealt with lately in people, and people saying, I don't know what you're talking about. I just did this and I just did that. I didn't say anything. But then yet the footprints and the trackings come back right to you. And you're like, how do you not see the shit you're creating? How do you not see that you're being a jackass? How do you not see that you are creating drama and pulling other people in or trying to pull people into it? There's so many people out there who are so unaware of themselves and their actions. And I'm just trying to say, in general, people need to be more aware. I have fucked up many times, I still do, right? Jane meant it with the utmost respect. Veronica obviously meant to be an ass because she has yet to say anything coming back like, oh, I'm sorry. You know, I hope this doesn't trigger you. Yes, you're doing that to trigger me. I still mess up every day. I had hot tamales this morning, so hi Sean, how are you? It's the problem of we're gonna always fail. We're always still gonna continuously make mistakes. We're gonna trip and fall every day as we work on ourselves. And sometimes, right, we don't acknowledge it or see it until maybe hours later. And then we're like, oh shit, that wasn't very nice to me, was it? But the problem is, oh shit. The problem is that I'm just trying to use people as examples from when they say things because they don't realize sometimes that your written word hurts or it feels attacking. And I'm just trying to get people to realize that my response is elicited sometimes to your response. And if I'm responding negatively, you can rest assured that I assumed you were being negative, right? And it's protection for me, too, because I get a lot of lashings every day. Hi, Claudia. Good, I'm proud of you. Grandpa's feisty. He's feisty today. You married a narcissist. Well, shit, get the fuck out. a teaching moment. It's all of our mistakes throughout the day, all of our failures, all of the things we just aren't so good at. It's about fixing ourselves. Reflection at the end of the day, if you don't necessarily see it. Because if you're like me, sometimes things will start playing in your head and you're like, ooh, damn, that was ugly. What did I do that for? Or, God, that Dan really pissed me off. You know, I didn't realize how irritated I still am from that one moment 8 hours ago. You know? So it's a bar about trying to change the path, trying to correct those horrible behaviors. And that's all I do by pointing out my flaws and using people as examples. Because if we don't have the examples, if you can't admit to your own flaws, you're not going to be better yourself. And you're going to continue to hurt people, you're going to continue to lash out, and you're going to continue to go through life with your eyes closed. That's it. Yeah, and when Dan, you know, Dan, it's funny because Dan's not controlling in so many ways, right? He gave up that control a long time ago. In like money, budgets, all that stupid shit. Now he just says, well, you're in charge, so if you fuck up, don't come looking for me to fix it, right? But there is ways that he does control, you know, a little bit. He tries to, but I'm uncontrollable. Fuck that shit. I've been controlled a lot in my life, but I'm trying to be respectful. Like when we do night lives together, it's so hard to rein myself in. It scares me because I like to be me. I hate to be restrained. I talked about that yesterday. I don't want to restrain myself anymore, right? And I feel like I have to be a little, subdued when we're together, but I don't like it. He doesn't like it when I'm this way. He doesn't like feisty me. Oh, Alex, you're so sweet. Yes, and Dylan, you will learn to be better your whole life. The minute you say you're stop learning, you don't need to learn anymore is the day you die and the day you have failed yourself and everyone around you. Hi, Sonia. Sonia. I love it. I love that you tune in and like it. We just don't care. I don't care anymore. And IVD, I'm starting to get like concerned with my current way of living. You know, it's been here for the last month. And I don't know if it's like, I just don't give a fuck. I know, Mickey, because a lot of you appreciate my spice. You know, you like my take on things, and that's okay. But you know, because I get attacked so much, it wouldn't be respectful for me, because my husband has almost 2 million followers, and he doesn't want to lose his account. You know what I mean? And so, unfortunately, people would attack him because of me. So I do have to do it. You know, I do have to. I do have to. You know, it's so funny, IVD, because it gets worse. I know, and I'm telling you, I don't give a shit. If you didn't care, you wouldn't be exercising. Jessica, we're talking about moods, hormone changes, how we deal with other people. I care. I take care of myself. I care about that, Jessica. I run for me. I don't run for anybody else. I run for my health and my sanity. And it's something I've done for 20 years, maybe even longer than that. How old am I? Fuck. I've done it for 29 years. So I don't know what you are saying. No, Grandpa doesn't have 2 million. Dan has 2 million. Those things irritate me too. Dan started this journey. If it wasn't for Dan, Grandpa wouldn't be here. So yes, people fell in love with Grandpa and helped Dan get where he's at today. But I mean, we're not chopped liver, right? So be fair and don't be ugly. I know, Sean. I like my feistiness too, but I do worry because I'm like, I was telling my friend the other day, and I was like, I used to be so like sweet and like, you know, oh, it's just let it go, Danielle. Now I'm like, fuck that shit. I'm letting that fucking go. Do you see my face? Do you really want me to respond with this face? I don't think so. Yeah, I try to bite my tongue. Sometimes it comes out a little bit and then I have to, you know, rein myself back. But I'm gonna tell you, IBD, it is healthy. It's also healthy. It's also healthy to not hold it in. Because before, I felt like I was more, like when I look at me today, right this day, hi Bertha, today, right this minute, I think to myself, I kind of was fake before, you know, maybe a month ago, because I wouldn't say what I really wanted to say, right? I wouldn't say it. And I held it inside because people fucking pissed me off. So now, I'm like, fuck it, you know? I don't care, and I believe it is better for me because I'm not holding it in, I'm letting it out. So if we can't be our true selves, it is a sort of stress because we hold everything inside, right? And I don't want to hold things inside because you hold too much. Y'all see that Monty Python, One More Thin Mint, and then he puffs out and, you know, poofs and breaks? That's me. Oh, Jackie girl, I am in it. And I don't, why isn't Answer going to continue his education? You mean Andrew? You have to ask Andrew. Why? Because he's never liked school. Andrew has always, he's cried since preschool and literally almost 6th grade. It was anxiety, you know, now I look back, I'm like, God, I was such a bad mom. You know, I should have gotten him help, but I didn't think, because then you pick him up every day, right? Yes, see, I'm letting it out and I look younger. Maybe everything will shrink up. He hated school. And now, right, 19 years later, I'm like, God, I'm such a bad mom. He should have been in therapy. Because when I would pick him up, right, he was smiling and I thought, this little asshole just didn't want to get up and go in the morning time. Yes, Claudia, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, we're always on, unless I alert you otherwise, 5 p.m. Yeah, and he's just never been, you know. 1 out of 3 ain't so bad. Togo's, there's nothing I can do about Togo's. I don't think I look like I'm in my 30s, but, so yeah, you know, you take what you can get. I tried to get him to do it. He likes what he's doing now. You know, I was pushing for a trade school. I was pushing for him to go to fire academy, and he was going to for the longest time. But I think he likes being out. He likes the construction world. He was thinking about business ideas, you know, which, you know, what do you do? What do you do? And it's hard as a mom, right? Because I was the first one to go to college on my mom's side. And it was such an important thing for my family. And, you know, that pressure of finishing my education was a huge thing. And so when he said, you know, I'm just done, I don't want to do it anymore, I took it hard. I was like, I failed. Why? You know, what did we do? How could we have made it better? How could I have, you know, what could I have? Shit. And my friend said, Danielle, I've been with you through his whole adolescence. That boy never liked school. Do you remember all those times you would call me crying and stressed out and everything else? You know, it's okay. He'll find his way somehow, you know? And look, you've got 2 other children who are getting advanced degrees, who are enjoying the process, and that's okay. Let them do them. Let Andrew do him. So I'm trying. My degree is in child development. So, I try to give him tools necessary when he was having anxiety, that type of stuff, because of my degree and my background. So I thought I knew better. Sometimes it's better to go outside of the parental shit. I know Nancy, and he struggled in school because he didn't like it. So it was always difficult for him. Oh God, I know. And Andrew cried. Literally, he got to 4th grade. I was like, bud, you're gonna be made fucking fun of. You gotta stop crying. And then it was funny because 5th grade and 6th grade, he started having, instead of crying, he started to stutter. And he started this like weird clearing of the throat thing and biting his nails. So instead of crying, he morphed in doing other things. So in Pat, right, if he goes back to school, he will always have money to go back to school. So yeah, he had stomach aches. He started stuttering. And even today, his stutter is still there, but he was really bad. I know. And Andrew has anxiety. He had the stomach aches. Mommy, it's just my nerves, he used to say. Because I would just be like, Andrew, what's... Andrew, Mommy, it's just my nerds. Oh. Oh, Coolio, thank you. Anxiety is horrible as a child. And I feel like such an ass. Well, I'm anxious too, Shannon, and it kills me. It kills me because maybe I could have helped him. I just thought I could do this. I could help him myself. Anxiety, among other stuff. Oh, yes, it's so hard. Oh my godmother. It's so bad because I do apologize. I'm like, buddy, I'm so sorry. I never realized, at the time you're parenting, right? At the time you're dealing with their anxieties, their issues that they have, you think you're doing the right thing, right? A couple times I'm like, Dan, do you think we should get him therapy? Oh no, IBD. And he's like, no, he'll get through it. Well, 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, he still wasn't getting through it. And by then, it's like, I've already fucked up my kid. He's already miserable. He's already developed his anxiety. And it's a learn as you go. And unfortunately, I feel like an ass. And so I told him, I said, buddy, I'm so sorry. If I knew what I know now today, I probably would have done more for you. And maybe if I had done more at the time, it would have taken away his social anxiety with school, learning how to cope. Maybe he would have gone to school, maybe not, but I don't know. It sucks. Yes, the anxiety, you guys. And I don't remember having anxiety like that when I was young, right? I remember starting about junior high, I think, is when I remember certain things that PTSD moments, and I just thought, he'll get over it, he'll move on. It's just everybody kept saying, it's just a phase. No, it wasn't just a phase. I'm an asshole, I have anxiety. And you know what really kills me is the fact that, and as a child development major, I studied children, I studied brain, I studied mannerisms, I studied growth and development like I'm a failure. And it's funny though, because, when I think back at all the times of trying to sit with him and, honey, let's try these things. Let's, when you think about this, pictures, and I gave him everything so you don't feel so alone. It's so hard. Bye, Johnny. And Chancey, what a hard life. My 14-year-old has several anxieties and is trans. And that breaks my heart because he's gonna have a tough, it just, unfortunately, with all the fucking meanness that's out there, that's probably contributing to the anxiety, Chancey, I would be too. I could literally cry. I have goosebumps right now. That has got to be the toughest. Dan and I were talking about that. Everybody has their opinions, right? But they need to keep their fucking opinions to themselves. And I'm just going to say it right now. I'm going to help a friend over here on TikTok that has a 14-year-old who has anxiety and is a trans male. Remember when being gay was horrific, right? Our kids are gonna have a bad way, they're gonna be bullied, they're gonna have, shit, fuck that. That's a walk in the park now, being gay. Now, these people who are trans, these kids, these young kids, and you hear people say, there's no way, how are these parents, what are these parents, what the fuck are they doing? And I'm thinking to myself, God, help us and help them. Because society is tough already. When you don't feel like you're who you're supposed to be. And these individuals try to figure it out and change to make them happy. Their fucking parents are dying inside because they know how hard this world is going to be to them, how ugly they get. How many people have died? How many people have fucking died because of their choices? Kids being bullied, harassed, taking their own lives. It's just god awful. God awful. Chancey, if you could be in my body right now, I understand. I'm sorry. Hang tough. It's going to be a bumpy road. And there's no other way to say it. And if I said everything is going to be fine, I'd be fucking lying to you, right? And that's not something I do and I will not do. But I will hold your hand and we will be there for anybody whose kid is gay, trans, whatever. You're in a safe place with us. You're in a safe place. And there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. But be there and pick up the pieces. You let them cry. Let them share their stories, their hurts, the anger that they are going to have. I understand. I can't imagine. And I think Dan and I were talking about that not so long ago, about how scary it must be for those parents of these young kids, especially, let alone adult kids. But fuck, y'all, hatred is just so god-awful. Let people be who they want to be. Who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? Hi, Plucker. But Chancey, you're not alone here. Anybody who has and feels conflicted, feels scared for their kids based on their orientation, you're here. We will do the best we can. I can't take it away. I can't make you feel better about it because it's there. It's like a pit in your stomach, just waiting every time that phone rings. I bet it's kind of like me with my son. Every time it rings, I'm like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Whoa, Mom, easy." Just being a good listener, yeah. Hugs, being there, understanding, crying with him, showing your support is all you can do. You can't help it. I know. That pit, it's there. And all you see is love, right? I mean, you look at your kid, and at the end of the day, it's still your child. I'm sorry, but you have a beautiful kid. You have a beautiful kid, no matter what he chooses, right? So just own it. Don't be embarrassed, just own it own him, brag about him, love on him, and fuck all those people who want to cast their ugliness. Fuck them. Fuck them. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. Ugh. And that's the thing, like, how these parents, turn their kids away if they don't fall within their mold. They're your child through and through. It doesn't matter who they have, what they become, what they want to be, how they don't feel what they are is the true self. Oh, Danny. And that's it. There's nothing wrong with love. I wish to, Willie, it breaks my fucking heart that, people would rather inflict pain and hurt than to support, show kindness. You don't have to agree with it, right? You don't have to agree with these people. Anybody who chooses to decide what their sexual orientation is, it's a feeling they have. It's confliction. I truly believe, a lot of people, I've had debates with people. I believe the same thing, and there's a lot of people that say no. It's not that way. They think it's just because it's being taught in school and, all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, bless your heart. Bless your heart. How conflicted they must feel to have to put themselves in people like you who already have ugliness and judginess in their eyes. I can never drop my kid, no matter what they are. Criminal, drug dealer, you have to do shit, but they're still your kid at the end of the day. That's a different type of a love, but, or treatment, tough love. But if any of my children were any other way but themselves, I would never turn my back on them. God. And I don't honestly imagine how people do it. You're not my kid anymore. Why? And some people choose religion over their kids. How people feel right to bully and hate and to make somebody take their life because they feel ashamed of who they want to be or who they are. How do people go around being okay with spewing and being ugly to others and making them feel like they don't belong in society? So what? And if he chooses at that point to be like, you know what? But I have never really known statistically any trans male or female all of a sudden choose and decide, oh yeah, I'm not trans anymore. I've never seen that happen. The gay thing, maybe, Oh, did you hear that so-and-so is not a lesbian anymore? Wait, what? That, yes. But I've never heard of a trans individual just change their mind. He came to you at 11. I'm so glad. I'm so glad he was able to come to you. A lot of these kids they're ashamed. They feel like they're going to be cast aside. Me too, Robin. It breaks my heart for Chancey and anybody else dealing with that. Because that's very special, and you should feel very lucky that he felt strong enough to say, Mom, Dad, whoever's a part of the family, I'm struggling, I'm struggling. I need help, or I feel this way. And to have that support is huge. I don't either, IBD. And when I was going through, and it has nothing, I'm not comparing because Andrew's is completely different than what Chancey's dealing with. And anybody else. Trans, having a child, male or female, that is trans is not comparable to what I'm saying at all because there's so much more, and that's what helped me. And I love that. I love that she, or he now, came to you, but, I felt I was really upset, when Andrew came to me and he said, I don't want to go to school. And this is how myopic and stupid I was, right? 2 years ago or a year ago when he said, I don't think I'm going to finish. And I looked at him and I said, what do you mean? You're finishing. You know, it's the same thing, right? I took about 24 hours and I called my friend and I told you what she said to me, and I sat back and I thought, how ugly of me. How ugly of me. Kimberly, I just read your, sorry about that. That's a tough ride too. How ugly of me to cast those opinions, and why? Because of maybe the way I felt. Oh, good for you, Chancey. Good for you. Now, I don't know if you have ever been around to hear my story with my oldest at first, but we didn't know what she was going to do. At that time, there wasn't so much talk about being trans, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago. But Jennifer was very tomboyish. Wanted boy clothes, wanted boy underwear, and me and Dan were like, what's going on? Like, hey, Jen, if you need to talk to me about anything, and she looked at me like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Why do I need to talk to you? Are you feeling okay? Is everything going well? She only played with the boys. She was athletic. Mom, I want Spider-Man boxer briefs. No, I won't buy them for you. I think about those things now and I'm like, God, I'm such an ass. What was I doing? Like, no, you will not do that, And now today I'm so different, right? Because society has changed me. Wisdom has changed me. But she got them anyway. She got them. Her aunt would buy them, or my friend who I called to whine about Andrew, she would be the last person on earth. But she came home with my mom, when my mom was alive, would buy her the boxer briefs. And she loved it. Spider-Man, all stretched out. She wore those things and you couldn't even see anymore what they looked like from the butt. Who is on your ass? Oh, those still Spider-Man. And, we were thinking, what's going on? Something, I talked to her about it. Hi, Cindy. Sorry about the fur baby. And then all of a sudden, at 13, we were out to dinner with our friends, the one I called about Andrew, and soccer friendships. And Taylor's older brother had a friend there named Elliot. I know you would have, Cheryl. Elliot. And all of a sudden, we all just were talking, and all of us at the same time, all of a sudden you just see Jennifer across the table, stars in her eye, just staring at Elliot. And all of us were like, well, there you have it. Now we know. So it's a big joke in our family about that, but
What are you talking about?
I know. And Mrs. G now, right?
Is there anybody on
You
here?
probably regret saying those things. And I feel stupid about the way I handled certain things because society has changed us and our views, and some of us. And today I'm like, God, I'm such an asshole, And so when Andrew did that, and I took my 24 hours or more, and I talked to Dan, and I was like, is it fair of us to say, Dan's like, no, And I had to change my thought process, right? It was my process that I needed to get. Was I embarrassed that he wasn't going to school? Maybe it was a me problem. But then I thought there was more important things to worry about in life than whether or not my son goes to school, right? And then I feel stupid, when I see people like Chancey and, other, families that are dealing with serious issues, serious concerns with their kids. So I feel, just like, God, here I was worried about my image because my son's not going to school. And maybe that's what it was. I think that's what it comes down to, is really me, right? I went to school, your dad went to school, your sisters are going to secondary education. Why can you not just do 4 years? But why? Why is that important to me? So, with a lot of soul searching and a lot of changing in my brain, I said, you know what? I gotta let it go. He is his own person. I'll always be there for him. And, eventually if he comes to me in 5 years and wants to find his way and needs school or wants to go to trade school, he has the money for it. So he can do it. But it was me. And most of the time it's us. Not our kids, it's us. He will be fine, I think. And there was nothing wrong with being a tomboy. And and even if she was something other than who she is today, I would have still supported her. I would never turn my back on her and be like, no, you must live this way. And then that's when, I thought of myself, I reflected when I was so pissed off when Andrew said, I don't want to go to school. You went, huh? No. Unacceptable. You must go to school. He's like, well, I don't want to go to school. Unacceptable. I will talk to your father about this. And I'm thinking to myself, God, who are you? You support your children. You try to weigh the pros and cons for them, but you support them and you don't give them guilt trips. Fuck. But I did. But then I said, I'm sorry. I will be here. We will do this, whatever. Yes, Willie. And that's the thing too, right? Are you going to change your, being racist, growing up around that? A lot of people grow up with racism, extreme, depending on where you grew up, the color of your skin, and you all know how it works. And you can either choose to follow those paths or you can realize that they're not pretty and change them for you. I learned from such an early age with my grandparents, and maybe one day I'll share the story, but it's really, unfortunately, something you can't always share on a big public forum because of all the hate in the world. But, I grew up, spent the summers with my grandparents. They used to have stores, and they're in the South. And there is a big difference, right? In the South, you have blacks and you have white. But California, I would come and you just didn't see what you saw in Nashville. And, but it was so funny because my grandparents, I saw it. I saw a good, happy blend, right? White, older man and wife, and African-American black men, white, and mostly their clientele was black individuals, heavy, tall, because they catered to the big and tall. And it was great. I think that helped me in life not really see, right, that there was a problem with the commingling because they love my grandparents. Their clientele was there to, the last closing day in that store. They protected them. They heard that Jack and Sarah got, robbed, their store alarm was going off. Guess what? They were there front and center. Who did it? Don't make me, find their asses and beat their asses. The community that my grandparents were in was family. Family. They never talked bad about any other races. And I was lucky to grow up in that environment, to see that there's no good and bad, it's just dependent. White people can be bad too, but you have good in every race. The ones that are ugly, guess what? They are everywhere. And there are all sorts of people, but it doesn't ever have to be. And I remember my grandpa saying that, don't ever think that it's just one race that is bad. They're all bad. We're all bad if you choose to be. That was from my grandparents. That was from my grandparents. So I never thought, I never thought anything about it because I thought to me that was normal, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Now, in interesting stories as well is that in our area, in Elk Grove, in the schools that my kids went to, there was not a lot of black children. There was, some, and of course, the diversity picked up over the years. It's so funny. And lots of Hispanics. And my kids always gravitated towards the darker kids, whether they were Indian, Spanish, Black, Hannah and Jennifer both. And I thought that was fucking cool, right? I thought that was cool. I was like, I was thinking I'm gonna have to have a conversation like my grandparents did. But they did. They're best friends. We're all sorts of races. Jennifer's best friend, Taylor, ever since they were 8, was Black, It was never a thought in their eye. And my daughter Hannah always said, because we were good friends with Taylor and her parents, we traveled to soccer with them. We went to Mexico together. We did all these things together as a family. And Hannah said, well, it was the cutest thing. This is such a 4 or 5-year-old thing. And she said, Mom, if Stephanie says she's Black and, everybody in her family, how come you never say I'm Black or you're Black? And I remember going, wait, what? And she said, she was associating herself with the same color, right? And I said, wait, what did you say? And she said, well, Stephanie says she's Black. And she goes, but how come I'm not Black too? Because my skin is the same color as theirs. And so is yours. So I should say I'm Black, right? I just hugged her and I kissed her. And I said, girl, I love you. I love you so much. And I said, you can say whatever you want. However you feel, you can say it. And there was just...
You're missing one of the better stories from Hannah. I don't remember that, but I do remember...
Because she said it to me.
I do remember when she said that, if they're Black, but they're not Black. They're really brown.
Yeah.
Why do people call them Black?
Yeah.
The honesty and unfiltered comments that come out of little kids are
Amazing. She did say that too. He always has to come out and that was part of that conversation, I believe, was, but we're brown. And I do remember saying, well, who's brown? And she said, well, me, and so is Stephanie. Why do they say they're Black? Because she's brown. I just couldn't do anything but hug her and kiss her. I loved it. And Jennifer's first boyfriend was Adrian. He was biracial. And she loved him to the day. And I just always said, God, isn't it so amazing? Isn't it so amazing? They don't see color. He can't resist. Well, most kids. Kids who are taught color notice it. The kids who aren't don't, right? So anyhow, just some fun little tidbits. How did we get there? Lord have mercy. God, that was like squirrel. Squirrel. I wish everybody had that innocence too. I wish people really didn't see the things that, it's more important to see the inside than it is the outside. A person's true heart and soul defines who they are, not the fucking color of their skin, right? Hate is hate. Anger is anger. Being fucked up is being fucked up, but it's not solely related to one race. Growing up Italian in New Jersey, my family allowed me to date Italians. Right, how do you don't choose. Yes, I do believe my ugliness taught young, right? And I had beautiful grandparents that didn't judge anybody. And that was one of the key lessons that I took away. And Chancey, I love that because I always tell my kids, you can't pick who you fall in love with, right? You can't choose it. If you fall in love, you fall in love. Black, Asian, Puerto Rican, Mexican, whoever you are, if you fall in love, and sometimes we fall in love outside of our religions. Who am I, and how am I, who am I, but how am I going to tell my kid, you got to stay within your religion And you gotta stay within your race. What the fuck? It's like me telling Andrew, you must go to school. I can't. How do you deny that? You know, if you fall in love with somebody outside of your religion, your race, so be it. Make it work. Make it happen. If there's a will, there's a way. And everybody can figure it out. You can have two blendings of religion and work it out. Mutual respect, right? Prayers that move me to a better environment away from extended family of three. Yeah, thank goodness, Kim, because sometimes those of us aren't strong enough to make it through what we've lived through, right? Said I have a little brother. Oh, I can't. Michelle, that would piss me off. That would piss me off. Yes, no color lines. Yes, if you're beautiful on the inside, it doesn't matter what you look like on the outside. That's it. Bottom line. Michelle, I would have a trouble with that. Michelle said her mother says she has little brown babies because their father is part Native American. I would have a hard time. Because, you know, and maybe, you know, your mother, right? So I don't know if there's any ill will to it. Could have to do with how she was raised. I don't know, but I'll be like, mother, you know, I don't know. It's just horrible. Just fall in love with the right person, right? Fall in love with the right person. I don't care if they're white, for fuck's sake. Yeah, well, it's obvious, right? That was epic quote. Kids that are taught color notice. The kids that do not see color. Yeah, I mean, that it is. They're taught it, right? When you're raised with it and raised knowing that it seems normal and it is normal, you're not going to grow up any other way but that. Thanks, Denise. Yeah, no, that was completely just Danielle being stupid. As always says, he judges people and not what they are. Exactly. I that's exactly what I do. I can see you for your true self-worth. You know, your heart is going to come through no matter what. If you're a pure, kind soul, it's going to come out and show. Yeah, Kathy, and you know what? It's sad that you probably didn't know any better until you found him, you know? Your true love. Maybe he is your true love. I don't know. It's just, society's stupid. You know, people are stupid. I'm just tired of all the biases, the bigotry and the hatred and everything else. I'm just so tired of it. It's just ugly. It's just, yes, Teresa, I say that all the time. I'm like, you know, we all bleed the same. We all have the same organs. Some of us are born with one less than one, but you know, we all are created the same. You know, when people, you know, attack, it's so ugly. And it's like, you know, I still have emotions, and so do these poor other people. I have a great community behind me. I have a great family behind me, and I'm fortunate to know my true self-worth. But others don't, and others are still struggling with it. Be kind. Oh, I know, Chancey, me too. I would love to meet your son. That would be fucking cool. Never cared who I did because I didn't very ethic. And, you know, and Phyllis, you know, and love is love. I mean, love is all you need. I mean, it just the core essence of everybody. You know, everybody wants to be loved. Redlands, where's the Redlands? Everybody wants to be loved. We all do. And all of us have our own experience with how we were loved. And sometimes that fucks us up. And we can't escape the past. Palm Springs. We're not that far apart. And it's horrible that some cannot break that cycle. But at the end of every fucking hate, all those people who hate, they just want to be loved. just like everybody else. I mean, we're all the same. You know, we're all created the same way. The perfect life partner. Well, you know what, Kathy? I'm glad you found it. Because at the end of the day, it takes, I mean, we all have our struggles, right? We all have our struggles within, you know, our marriages and stuff like that. But if you have a good one, you know your good one is loyalty, laughter, trust, love, and a great foundation, right? And if you have all those things, those are the most important things in a relationship, I believe. They're still going to piss you off, you know? They're still not going to do things you want them to do. They're still going to be lacking in a lot of the areas. But at the end of the day, it's love. It's love. It was freezing this morning, Mark, but it's going to be a beautiful day. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. You know, it'd be really fun. You know, I would love to do something like, you know, at 74, Sheila just turned 74 today. You know, what so far, like everybody, think about this. This is a great thing for everybody to think about. At your age today, present day, what is the one thing that you would change, one, about yourself? And now, what is the most valuable thing you have learned up until this day? Think about that. Because I would have to think. What's the one thing you would change about yourself? And what is the one most valuable thing that you have learned today, present day, that you will never forget? Anybody want to share? Anybody can think? Or does anybody know the answer right off the bat? I don't know. But, I mean, for myself, I would really have to think about that. Let me think. The one thing I have learned, I'm going to tell you, that I can tell you, just because I've lost so much already in my life, the one thing I learned is show your love. Show your love. Doesn't matter when, how, or what time of day. Make sure your people know they're loved. I have regrets about that. So I would say that is probably the most thing that I've learned. Don't let anybody stop you from loving. Okay, so that's the one thing I've learned. The one thing I would change, I think I've already done it. I like who I am today. If you would have asked me, you know, a year and a half ago what I would change, I would say my true self. I need to be a better person. But I like where I'm at today. So I'm more aware. I'm where I would want to be today, I think. Confident, a great caregiver, a great mom, a great wife. You know, over the grand scheme of things, I'm not nitpicking about, like, I could give Dan Morse eggs. I mean, of course, he would say yes, or a couple, you know, blueberry jams a day. You know what I mean? But I think I'm where I want to be. I think I'm where I want to be. Investing more money. Shouldn't we all? I said one thing. I said, what would you have changed, and what have you learned? Money is just monetary. Like, who cares? That comes and goes. I mean, that comes and goes. I mean, yeah, I mean, let's be real. We could really nitpick this shit together and be like, huh, God, if I didn't waste what was I thinking? If only I hadn't gambled the last 20 years, I would be a gazillionaire.
I'll be back. I'll be right back. Watch Bluetooth.
Where are you going? Bluetooth. 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 Bluetooth.
Is there anything we need while I'm out?
No, I have an appointment at 12, so
Where?
I have to get my nails done. Why are you doing therapy live every day? Why not? Why not? Yeah, I appreciate parents more. I can see that. Um, but I don't know. I think, oh, pussycat. I think, here's the thing. I think, like, I know my mom didn't die thinking, I wish my daughter was more grateful. You know what I mean? I don't think she would. I don't think as parents, unless we have really shitty kids, we would think that, right? I think ultimately they know. Like, I know my mom has died knowing that I loved her, to be more social. And Kim says to dwell on my weight so much. God, wasn't that horrible for us girls? God, we were so hard on ourselves. I think my dad also knew that we loved him. I would think. Despite his own pain, I would hope that he knew that we loved him. I think he did, right? Yes, everybody's weight. I mean, God, I made myself starve. I threw my fingers down my throat, For what? What did we do that for? In the end, it made me heavy for 3 years. It would not leave my body. My body was like, we take everything and we hold on to it because we don't know when this bitch is going to do that to us again. God, I mean, do you know? God. A lot of things. I am, how old am I? 49. I almost said 39. That would be a complete lie. I'm 49. I'm 49 and Dan will be 56 next week. He's getting old. I'm gonna have to trade him in now for a new model. Shit, he's 56. I mean, I remember when he was hot in the early 20s and was 501 jeans button up, but woo! Talk about the good old days, dry humping and all. We were talking about that. Like, I was with my friend the other day, and I was like asking, with other types of relationships, like, what is the one thing, like, what is your pleasure? Like, what do you like? How do you like being pleasured, right? And she was like, well, I'm sure, kind of like you, whatever. And I was just, I get curious about certain, things. And anyway, at the end of the day, I was going somewhere with this. It wasn't just a random, where was I going with this? Ow! I'm so sorry. Where was I going with this? Six. I don't remember. I was going somewhere. There was a purpose for my deflecting and, what was I saying? Younger days. Oh, Dan. Now I remember. Thank you. 501s. That's all you have to say is 501. And she turned it back on me and she said, well, what was like your greatest pleasure? And you know what I said? My greatest sexual pleasure? Dry humping and making out. And the pushing of on the 501, the friction and the lead up. Yeah. The lead up, but there was no, that was it. It was no, there was no finishing but within each other's pants, separately, not in unison. Well, in unison, but with clothes on. That was amazing. Right? It wasn't about the sex. It was about the button up, not just 501s. They had to be the button fly. And sometimes you're like, ooh, the button hurts, we got to readjust. But you couldn't really do much because you couldn't take your clothes off, the feelings, the butterflies, that excitement, the adrenaline, like, I could just rip those things off and we can get down to business. But that was probably my favorite time. right? Am I right? I mean, everybody else liked to do that. You had to work for it. Those were the days. The butterfly feelings, right? The amazing mind. I try to think about Dan back then, but things get in the way, and it's just not the same. He was hot. He was hot. Man, he made me sweat. He made me wet. I didn't say he's still not cute. It's just different. I mean, we've been together forever, but like I can start salivating right now to remember those feelings. I would love to get those feelings back. Is it possible? Not, I mean, I think it would be possible to go out, and experience somebody new. Maybe you could get those same feelings, but is it possible to have those same butterflies like a turbojet? Is it possible to get the same? How do you get those 30-year-old feelings back? No, I know, it doesn't come back. I wonder if he would say that I still turn him on more now today as I did back then. The innocence, right? An old date. It's not the same. He was like much more kinder to me back in those days. Like he was a gentleman. There was like he has different like very peaks and valleys in our relationship of the type of man he was, but like the dry humping days, like he loved me. He was just so nice and so thoughtful and so courteous and lovable, and like I knew I was the only one for him, at those times. Now it's like, bitch, you're replaceable. You're an old hat. An old hag. A what? An old hat? Uh-huh. What did you say before hat? Hormone replacement therapy. Fuck. Yeah. The closest I had to those butterfly feelings again was back, like, I think, Dan, our tone, well, fuck, then I'm fucked because I've been told my tone sucks. Rent a Ford Probe. A Ford Probe? The fuck does a Ford Probe have to do with anything? The blushing. Like, yeah, you knew. Like, you couldn't wait. The kissing. Did you hear the frog? The kissing, the passion. God, I loved kissing. A Pinto. I never had a Pinto. You know what Dan had? He had a Colt. A Plymouth Colt? Or Dodge Colt? One of those. Was that the same thing? Plymouth Dodge? I think so, right? And it was, I don't think we ever got it on, though, in the Colt. We got it on most everywhere else. God, he would love to create. A probe. Susan, did you hear Susan? Yeah, you didn't hear her. You seem to be a little crazed. It's in the eyes. My eyes are crazed. By crazed, what do you mean? Sexually crazed, or like, are you saying I have a mental illness? Because I do. So what are you trying to say, Susan, with your kind self? Hi, Lisa. How are you? You gotta have a Pinto. Can you remember the Pintos? I don't remember a Pinto. I think one of my neighbors had a Pinto. But I don't think I've ever, I could say probably, honestly, Willie, was it Willie that you said that? Yeah, Willie said that. I don't think I've ever been in a Pinto before. Ever. In my 49 years. So, yay me. Maybe I was. Wait, I retract that. Did my old neighbor Midge have a Pinto? She might have. Your Pinto was, see if it's your first car. Oh, God. When did the, like, explosions, a Journey concert? A Journey concert will rehash all those feelings again. Oh, the rust-colored Pinto. Oh, my God.
I don't know. Susan was just telling me I have crazy eyes and I looked crazed. So I didn't know. I was just talking sexually about Dan back in the day. So yeah, I was sexually crazed with my eyes. I didn't realize that was so offensive to poor Susan. Was her name Susan? Yeah, I think so. My parents are dead. One of them's buried in California and one of them's dumped out to sea in Lake Tahoe. Oh, they're both in California. Yeah. I'm an orphan. I've been orphaned since my mid 30s. Pretty sad. Did something just drop on the side? Hello? Y'all, if you could only see what I just saw, that was fucking weird. Shit like that, like, creeps me out, right? Like, I saw like this, like, almost like it was like a fuzz that just fell down. Nobody saw anything? Hello? Ma? Dad? Grandma, Grandpa? Anybody? Hello? Fucking weird. It always creeps me out when, like, things like that, I see like a flash or something. After I've talked about a particular, like, loved one. Bruh. Isn't there more sort of subtle way to, like, show you're here other than a flash of a puffball floating down by my right eye? No, it wasn't an eye floater. Eye floaters are black. It was literally like a frickin', it wasn't a spider. It was literally like, it looked like a spider puff. Like, you know, one of those spider webs that fell down? And I was like, what the hell? Literally like right here. Ugh. See this middle finger? Yeah, that was fucking weird. No, those are the things. That's an orb. Well, I mean, what the fuck? I didn't think an orb is like that. I thought like an orb is like like an aura or something. It was literally like, it looked like a fucking cotton ball, but not so dense. It was just like a ploop, like ploop. I thought it was something falling on me from the ceiling. I don't do those things. That fucking creeps me out. Those are orbs? Shut the fuck up. A little ball, a little poof ball. I know, Kimberly. I mean, I know it. But when I see things like that, I'm like, don't scare me like that. I mean, don't, like, what the fuck? My eyes are watering. Why are my eyes watering? It's 'cause I don't want to cleanse it. Isn't like a save a hairball. I want you to see it when you replay it. No, I don't want to sage them if it's my mom. I mean, like, the creepy ones, they can go away, but if it's my family, I want them here. But there should just be a subtle way to show you're here. Don't drop something. Fucking orb. Like, did you shoot it out of your hand? Well, what did they... Huh? Did they just drop it? Like, it's not like, here you go, I'm here. I know, but it's comfort. It scares me. Because then I think I'm having a stroke or something. Bye, Cheryl. What do I do for employment? Lori, this is my new employment. Social media. But it was a tiny ball. There's a tiny ball of a spirit. It was like probably yay big. I don't know, Chrissy. I mean, mine was on my couch like a month ago. My mom. Did you remember when I told you the story? Like I was walking and I looked over out of my window. My mom was literally sitting there, like this on my couch, like literally like this, staring at me as I was walking with my. What the fuck? Like what, Mama? And then I dropped my shit and I ran. Dan's like, "What's the matter?" I okay, you're gonna think I'm crazy, but my mom is sitting outside on my couch. He looked at me. He's all, "What?" I just saw my mama sitting outside. Your dead mom? I said my mama. Where was she? Outside. On the couch. Watching me walk to the room with a smile on her face. Are you sure it wasn't a dog? Bitch, both dogs are right here on the bed. I'm like this, back it up. Back it up. She's not there anymore. And then a couple days later, you guys, Ed's like, "Who's sitting out on that couch?" Huh? Dan's like, "Bruh." What, Dad? Who's out there on the couch? My eyes are watering again. That shit, you guys, makes my eyes water. My eyes are watering. When he said that, Dan came in and he was like, "Did you hear that?" I said, "No, what?" He said, "My dad just says, 'Who's sitting on the couch?'" I said, "Shut up." My eyes are watering. It is funny, horse life. Because it's been a month. I saw him, her, and so did Ed. So, anyway, funny me. Bye. But and then I said the same thing. I said, "Am I dying? Am I dying? Am I dying? I'm not ready yet. Mama, I don't want to see you." Yeah, it's when something comes up. So, then what's true, horse life? Oh, violets, why am I so angry? Jeez. Violets, it's ugly to judge people and to assume you know how and what someone is feeling. Violets, you should listen to your mama when she said, "Don't be ugly. Don't be ugly. If I'm not for you, well then just scroll on by and go pick on somebody else." I know. Yeah. Oh. I was like, I don't want to get rid of him. Yeah, I don't know. You found my real account because you're on it. How old was your mom? 53. 53. And my dad died at 55, 2 years later, from a self-inflicted gun wound to the brain. He didn't die when he first shot himself in his brain. He died 2 years later. Yeah. They always say if you're going to take your life, never do it through the temple. And well, it's true because he lived. Yes. My daddy tried to take himself. My mom and my dad weren't together. My mom was dying of cancer, and my dad tried to commit suicide. Well, a month before my mom died, to be exact. And he lived to tell, but he didn't know what happened. He still, to the day he died, thought he got shot. Oh, and that's how they went blind? Self-inflicted gun wound. With a soft hat. What's a soft hat? My eyes are watering. Don't tell me that. Oh, shit. At 19, God. I just got chills. I don't like that. Mm-mm. You saw your mom. Ugh. Do you know why he did it? Nancy, we believe, do you have hatred towards him? My dad? Yeah, and luckily he didn't lose his head. He was like a millimeter away from the optical nerve. So no, until he died, he was a completely different man. His whole demeanor changed. He did no short-term memory. Remembered, could say my name and my brother's names, but couldn't remember. Knew I had kids, but couldn't remember my kids' names. I do smell my mom sometimes too, Sally. I was very angry. I wouldn't say hatred, Charlotte, not to forget your question. I was very angry at him. I thought it was very selfish of him to not be able to see how much we needed him, you know. Oh, thank you, Celestial. So I'm not angry anymore. I'm not angry anymore. Because it's not fair for me to be angry at somebody who was sick and had pain. And the only way he felt that he could silence that pain was to end his life. It makes me sad. I was very angry for a long time, but I've let it go because he was sick. We think he had, it was classic bipolar. Extreme highs, extreme lows. The highs, he called me all the time. The extreme lows, I couldn't hear him for months, and he would drink more, and all those things. I don't think he was ever diagnosed, but he felt like a failure. I mean, he was the baby of the family. There's a whole bunch of shit that could go along with it, and he probably had a chemical imbalance. Bipolar is not something you develop, it's something you're born with. So he probably had a chemical imbalance. He probably was bipolar and never got treated for it, Yeah, and I do believe he thought that. I do believe, Dog Mama, that I believe he thought that. I do believe, honestly, I feel it in my gut that he felt that he was a disappointment to us. I was already older. The boys were still young, because I'm older than the boys. That I feel like he thought that it would be easier for us to not see him as a failure anymore. Honestly, that's what I feel. I feel that he felt that we just were maybe weighed down by him, and he always felt that he should have been a better dad. And every summer I saw him, because I went every summer to spend time with him and my family, because all my family was in Nashville. That was how we started the whole kit and caboodle. Was him apologizing to me. Him saying he wishes he were better. He wishes he had more money. He wishes he had an education so he could provide for his family like a man should. He's sorry that he wasn't there for me. He's sorry that he's failed me. It was always that, like guilt, really, right? Guilt. And that started pissing me off, right? Early in life. Because I was like, fuck you, then do something about it, I did have a lot of anger for him for many years, but I left that. I got over that because I needed to for myself and for him, and I realized holding on to that anger wasn't doing anything for me, it was just making me more sad, especially having lost my mom, the person who was there for me all the time. He was addicted to alcohol and pills. Yeah. Addicted to alcohol and pills. That's how he escaped and dealt with his issues, right? So you have to get over it, Kels, I mean, I could sit and spend my life being angry and being like unhappy with, why me? Why did I have to lose my mom? Why was Dan such an asshole? Why was he, an addict? Why did he have to do this to me? Why did my dad have to commit suicide when my mom was in the process of dying? Why did I have to do what was it? Why, Why does nothing ever go my way? I mean, I could sit there and just sit and be a ball of my own misery, but what is that going to do for me? What is that going to do for my family that I'm trying to be a positive role model for, or, my caregiving skills? Like, I can't caregive and be miserable. I can't caregive and take care of life and try to do everything else just being sad. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. My mom died. My mom died a month later after my dad was still recovering in the hospital from a fucking self-inflicted gunshot wound. And, I'm supposed to what? And I remember Dan, and Andrew was under 2 years old. Andrew wasn't even 2 yet. He was 16 months old. And I remember Dan saying, you need to go see your dad. I was like, what? You need to talk to your dad at least. What? My mom just died. I can't, what? I'm supposed to deal with somebody who was trying to kill himself while my mom was trying to survive? And I have 3 young babies. You're never home. What the fuck is this world coming to? And why is everybody making me these decisions, making me make these things? Fuck you. You don't know, Now, shit, he was right. But, I was a robot, I got through life. I did it. How? I don't know. I did it. I think back, and I've talked about this before, and I feel so sorry for me, I feel so sorry at how weak I was and how insecure I was and how sad I was. I was sad. But who loses their mom that early? People do. Who loses a dad at the same time through a self-inflicted gunshot wound? Because in essence, I lost him. He wasn't the same person. Yeah, Amy. It's horrible. The things that we put up with, the things we have to get through. And I honestly don't know how I got through those times. I had kids. I had 3 young kids. I had a husband who was, God knows, doing what besides working. Not with his, he wasn't cheating on me or anything like that, but he was self-absorbed in himself and his rise to fame. And, it was just me and my kids. That's all I had. I had sadness. I had my kids. Those are the only people that kept me going, But I don't think I was my best self. I don't know. I just look at myself so sad. I was sad. But I survived, and I've grown. Not until recently, but I have grown at 48 with this social media journey. And so I feel like I have made good changes. I wish I did it sooner. I wish I knew better, but sometimes you don't know until you go older,
Hey, I got an idea. Are you still on?
No, I'm talking to myself.
Oh, you might be. So let me ask what you guys think of this idea. How come so many people come on now? What have you been doing? Flashing or something? Mm-hmm. So let me get in here because I can't get in the TikTok over there. They just hear a voice.
Excuse me.
So, I just got a letter from my office. Our old babysitter, Marissa, she wants to question legal questions, but I had to think of it. She was our babysitter when the kids were, real small, like in the midst of our crazy days. She was the one who would come and stay with the kids while we went out and just got crazy. Would it not be fun to interview her and ask her questions? What was it like? What were they like back in those crazy, we'd come home, we'd take taxis home every time. Never did anything, never drank and drove, but we'd take taxis home at whatever. I'll bet she's got stories we couldn't even remember. I'll bet you.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I always remembered because I never drank as much as you did back in the day. So there you have it.
That's what people do when they just switch it all back to themselves. I'm sorry, I did not mean to insinuate that you drank a lot, but you did, and so did
No,
I.
you insinuated.
We
You
did.
said
We did drink
it'd
a
be
lot.
interesting to see what we don't remember.
What is she gonna say?
I remember
What's she gonna say?
everything.
She go, oh well, Danielle was always
Yeah, because I'm the one who always stayed up and talked to her.
right. So would you like to? I think it would be fun to interview her. I mean, she was 17 when she started babysitting for us. Now she's married with kids. All right. Anyway, I think it'd be pretty cool. Here we go. Isn't that what you?
You remember, you forgot a lot.
Yeah, of course.
Even sober, you don't remember a lot of things.
Oh boy. All right, guys. You have a wonderful day. I'm gonna go in and just clean my wounds.
Wipe your ass too while you're at it.
There you go.
Yeah, we were having a moment, and then you just come in and throw in your 2 cents.
That's because Marissa.
You know, I'm going to tell you something.
What?
You know, at night, you suppress me. So this is my time to not be suppressed. So don't come in and try to suppress me.
I'm sorry for the 12 seconds of your 4-hour marathon that I stuck my face into. I apologize. You guys can delete it out or edit me out and whatever, but all right, if you don't want this 12 seconds.
This is my time
interfere.
to not be suppressed and controlled and held back like you do to me at the end of the night. Every time we're together, you know, you gave me this gag order and I can't do anything or say anything or act the way I really want to.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Oh,
control you.
Dan's walking away with a hurt pride.
I'm not hurt.
You wanna come show
everybody?
everybody-
I mean, everyone there that says I
No,
control
everybody
you
tells
is
them-
laughing their heads off.
No,
It's-
everybody says. Everybody does say. Everybody's like, you're different in the evening time. Yeah, because I have to be respectful of your account because I don't want to be responsible for a troll taking me down because they don't like me on your account. So I am more subdued. And every time I want to challenge a troll, you say, Danielle, what are you doing? This is not your morning show.
I don't talk like that.
You do. Suppression.
I don't talk like
Suppression. He won't let me do it. Look, what are you doing? Peekaboo.
that. I'm waiting for you to go on after I shut the door. I want to
Peek-
hear what
Peekaboo.
comes next.
I
wanna
see
be
you.
right here.
He literally did not shut the door. His head is just poking around the corner. Peekaboo.
I got Coke already.
Here's literally, I was like, why isn't the door? And then I see his nose like coming through. Like the little kid. Mommy, get in bed! Ah! Oh, God. No relationships are perfect. Mine is. I'm perfect. My relationship is perfect. I'm perfect. It's just Dan. He's not the perfect one. Therefore, that makes it unperfect because he fucks up the perfectness. He bugs me. Here's the true story. Let me tell you, listen up. He's a pain in the ass. Dan is a pain in the ass. There it is. Mic drop. Anyhow, all right, guys. I gotta go, and I got to, get my nails done. I will have new nails. Hopefully this one fixed. Anyway, I don't know, Christy. I don't know. Back in the days when I used to shop, oh shit, I gotta hide my abused marks. Back in the day when I used to shop, actually in stores when I had money before my kids started taking it all, I probably wouldn't have been a TJ Maxx thing. Mostly TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx, probably, most likely. TJ Maxx. I used to love TJ Maxx. Home Goods. You know? Fuck. Those were the days. I didn't think about all the money I used to have. Now I pimp my soul out to the social media people for a little bit of fun. Anyhow. Love you guys. Hopefully he's not swimming in the pool. Some of you might not find that funny. He's inside. He's not really swimming outside. However, the other day I went out, he came inside and he was sitting outside. But that's okay. And he stays away from the pool, you guys. But anywho, love you. Have a great Wednesday. Hump away if you are so inclined to hump. If you are not, well, you always have two hands, one and two. A lefty and a righty, a holdy and a tighty, innie and rubby. I don't know, whatever. But remember, you are important, you matter, and you are worthy, and your feelings are just that, yours. They're just yours, right? But it doesn't mean they don't make you feel a certain way, but it's just the reactions that you have to watch sometimes. Take a deep breath, reflect, and then kindly respond or don't. Anyhow, love you guys. Happy hump day. We will be on tonight, probably most likely about 5ish PST, as always, with Dan and my suppression. So if you like Suppressed Danielle, we will be on later. If you like a little bit of this and a little bit of that, we'll still be on later. And if you like to see maybe Grandpa, yes, later too. So anyhow, bye. My merch should be fully up and going in 2 weeks. We ran into some technical difficulties. What else was I going to say? Watch out for fake accounts. Come on, y'all. Be better. Use your noggin. And peace, love, and happiness. And kindness. Yeah, please rile me up, because you know it's hard to keep me contained. All right. Love you. Love you, bye. Can't get out of here. Love you, bye. Love you, bye. Maybe not. TikTok, it's so daunting sometimes. Can't get out of there. All right, bye, guys. Peace. Peace.